Alright, you ever see a moment that feels small at first? Something you could almost miss if you weren't paying attention, but then it just explodes? Like one tiny ripple that turns into a tidal wave? That's exactly what happened with Shedeur Sanders at Brown's minicamp. I'm telling you right now, this is the kind of moment that could redefine an entire team's future. When Shedeur Sanders fell all the way to the 5th round in the 2025 NFL Draft, I think most people figured the story was already written. The league had made up its mind. He wasn't ready. He needed time. He'd probably sit at the very bottom of the Browns' depth chart, maybe learn a thing or two behind Joe Flacco. He'd get thrown into a couple of preseason drives when the games don't matter and the stands are half empty. Maybe that was the expectation, but the thing is, expectations don't mean anything to a guy like Shedeur Sanders. See, there's this thing people do in the NFL. It's like a mental shortcut. They see the draft round, they look at the order, they look at how much a guy gets paid on then. They decide how good that player is before he even steps on the field. They let the number next to his name define him. But what Shedeur just did in Cleveland, that number doesn't matter anymore, because this kid didn't just show up to camp with a chip on his shoulder. He showed up ready to take something. When his moment came, when the coaches said, "You're up," he didn't flinch, he didn't blink. He didn't just survive the reps. He dominated, so please take 2 seconds to hit the subscribe button. Like the video and leave your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for your support. Let me give you the setup, just so you really get how wild this is. The Cleveland Browns quarterback. Room is crowded, it's heavy. Deshaun Watson is still there whether you're a fan of his game or not. The reality is, he's a massive presence on that roster. Huge contract, polarizing legacy, a lot of pressure. Then you've got Joe Flacco, yeah, the former Super Bowl MVP, a walking, talking archive of NFL experience. And then there's Dillon Gabriel, a dynamic dual-threat rookie who tore up college defenses and had scouts buzzing. He's mobile, he's flashy, and before all this went down, a lot of folks inside and outside the building were already labeling him the future of the franchise. So yeah, this wasn't exactly an environment crying out for a 5th-round rookie quarterback to make noise, but Shedeur didn't care about that. He didn't care that he was 5th on the depth chart. He didn't care that other guys had more money, more hype, more reps. He just kept showing up, kept working, kept preparing like he was the starter. And then during a move ball drill, the kind where coaches don't just hand out reps like candy, Shedeur took the field ahead of Dillon Gabriel, and everybody stopped what they were doing, because that right there, that wasn't just a rotation decision. That was a message from the coaching staff. That was the Browns saying, let's see what this kid's got. And what did he do? He stepped into that huddle like he'd been doing it for years. He made it. Checks at the line. He moved the offense. He took command. And he made throws, real NFL-level throws. Out routes with perfect timing. Deep digs with anticipation. He went through progressions like a 10-year vet. And dump it off to the, flat just to be safe. He pushed the ball downfield. He looked fearless. And all of a sudden, the conversation started changing. Quiet whispers in the hallway turned into loud questions in the meeting rooms. Is this guy actually the real deal? Now let's talk stats for a second, because the tape tells one story, but the numbers back it up too. Over his college career, Shedeur Sanders posted a completion rate of over 71%. That's elite! Last season alone, he completed 74% of his passes. And here's the kicker, he did that while getting sacked 42 times. Think about that. 42 sacks, and he still put up surgical numbers? That tells me 2 things. 1, he's got composure under pressure. And 2, he's not just surviving chaos, he's producing through it. But the real magic? It's not in the box score. It's in the way he throws guys open. It's the timing, the placement, the confidence. The way he reads a defense like he's looking at something he's already seen 100 times, and the coaches see it. One Browns assistant reportedly said, "And this floored me in my 15 years of coaching. I've never seen anything like this." That's not just a compliment, that's a moment of shock. That's a seasoned professional admitting that this rookie is doing things that flat out don't make sense. And it's not just the coaches. The players are noticing too. Know how rare it is for a rookie quarterback to step into a veteran locker room and instantly earn respect. It's almost unheard of, but Shedeur, he's doing it with actions, not words. He's not barking in the huddle. He's not faking leadership. He just shows up, does his job, and executes. And the vets, they're responding. You can see it in walkthroughs. You can feel it during red zone drills. There's a different rhythm when he's under center, and I think that's what's really blowing people away. Not just the arm, not just the stats, but the processing. The way he sees the field, one coach reportedly told another, This kid processes like he's been in this offense for years. That's not something you teach. That's instinct. That's football IQ. That's special. And here's what I love most about this entire story: the mindset. When Shedeur wasn't getting the reps early in OTAs, he didn't pout. He didn't run to the media. He didn't throw shade on social. He didn't demand anything. He just worked. He stayed late. He studied film. He sharpened his footwork, soaked up every bit of coaching he could get. And when the opportunity came, he didn't just take advantage, he capitalized. He flipped the whole quarterback room upside down. And you want to know what separates a guy like that from the rest? It's the awareness. His self-awareness is off the charts. In an interview, he said something that really stuck with me. You've got to understand the situation you're in. Whether you're getting reps or not, you can take it negatively, or you can use it to push yourself harder. That right there, that's why he's going to make it. Because he's not chasing fame. He's not chasing approval. He's chasing greatness. And now the Browns are starting to see it, loud and clear. Even Mary Kay Cabot, one of the most experienced no-nonsense Browns reporters out there, recently admitted that Shedeur's rise is real, not hype, earned. And when someone like her starts flipping the narrative, you better believe the team is paying attention. Let me remind you, just a few weeks ago, Dillon Gabriel was being hyped as the new face of the franchise. A dynamic, athletic, dual-threat guy with big upside. And now Shedeur Sanders is lining up ahead of him in reps, throwing darts, making reads, commanding the huddle, and I don't think this is just a hot streak. I don't think this is one of those feel-good camp stories that fades by preseason. I think we're witnessing something real, something sustainable. The Browns might have walked into the draft looking for depth, but they may have walked away with a franchise quarterback, not next year, not in 3 years. And if Shedeur keeps this up, that quarterback room, it's going to get real awkward real fast. So to everyone who counted him out, to the GMIs who passed, to the scouts who said he wasn't ready, this might just be the start of a story you'll be hearing about for a long time. Shedeur Sanders didn't wait his turn, he created it. Now he's coming for the throne. So, please take 2 seconds to hit the subscribe button, like the video, and leave your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for your support. You know, when analysts first started talking about Shedeur Sanders, the hype was real. People were buzzing about his upside, and a lot of folks just assumed he'd be the clear frontrunner behind Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett. I mean, on paper, it made sense. But if there's one thing I've learned from watching this game for years, it's that football doesn't care about hype. It doesn't care what the scouting reports say or who got the most media buzz leading into camp. Football only cares about results. And right now, Shedeur Sanders is rewriting the entire narrative in real time. One of the biggest moments that told me things were shifting came during a live drive session at camp. And I'm not talking about warm-ups or walkthroughs, I'm talking about real reps. Reps where the coaching staff is watching every throw, every read, every bit of decision-making under pressure. That's when Shedeur was sent out before Dillon Gabriel. That wasn't just some rotation thing. That was a message. That was the first real sign that this staff sees something different, something bigger in Shedeur. And what really stands out to me, it's not just his performance, it's the consistency. Gabriel, yeah, he flashes. He'll make a play and turn some heads, but Shedeur, he's in control. He's not just throwing dimes, he's running the offense. The whole system seems to breathe differently when he's under center. And you can see it. You can feel it. The timing, the flow, the command of the huddle, everything is just smoother when Shedeur is calling the shots. Even some of the toughest critics are coming around. I'm talking about people like Mary Kay Cabot. Has been covering Browns training camps forever. At first, she was questioning whether Shedeur would even fit in this system. Now, she's openly talking about his rise. That's a shift. That's momentum. And in the NFL, especially when you're a rookie trying to climb the depth chart, momentum is gold. Veteran leadership plays a huge role in how far a young quarterback can go. And when the vets start backing a guy, when I pay attention. Cornelius, one of the battle-tested voices in that Browns locker room, was asked about the quarterback competition. And he didn't beat around the bush. He said there's a hell of a battle going on, especially with Shedeur. That's not just casual praise, that's a subtle but powerful endorsement from a guy who's seen dozens of quarterbacks come and go. What's catching the eye of his teammates isn't just Shedeur's talent, it's how he carries himself. This guy doesn't walk around like a 5th-round pick. He walks around like a starter. He's vocal when he needs to be, but never over the top. He's focused, locked into the playbook, and always in sync with what the offense is doing. And you can hear it too in the mic'd up segments at practice. Vets are praising his poise, his ability to make reads, even his humor. He's not forcing anything. He just fits. And it's not just Cornelius noticing. The receivers are vibing with him. The tight ends are saying he's easy to read and get in sync with. Even defensive guys are talking about how tough it is to anticipate his moves. That's respect. That's the kind of credibility that only comes from putting in work and delivering on the field. One player even joked about the rookie dinner coming up, saying, especially Shedeur, like they already see him as the guy. You don't joke like that about someone you don't believe in. When the Browns picked Shedeur Sanders in the 5th round, let's be honest, people were calling it a courtesy pick. Some said he'd never be more than QB3, but the moment he started getting serious reps, that whole tone flipped. Now you've got analysts talking about him as possibly the steal of the draft. One journalist said Cleveland might have stumbled onto a hidden gem that nobody else saw coming. Another went even further, calling him the biggest bargain in the entire NFL season. And it's not just the media getting behind him. Former NFL receiver James Jones, he came out recently and straight up said the best option for the Browns right now is Shedeur Sanders. That's huge. That's not some casual take from a guy watching from a distance. That's a former player saying, this guy can be a star. And I get it. The tape doesn't lie. His growth over the past few weeks has been nothing short of incredible. He's already running this NFL offense like someone who's been doing it for years. And let's talk about those college stats for a second 74% completion rate, even while being one of the most sacked quarterbacks in all of college football. He didn't fold under pressure. His accuracy held. That says a lot about who he is as a quarterback and a competitor. And James Jones, he summed it up perfectly. Put him in the game. Let's see what he's got. And honestly, I'm with him. Shedeur isn't your average rookie. He's flipping the entire quarterback room upside down right now and doing it with the kind of calm, steady energy you just can't teach. Now, if you really want to know how a team feels about a young QB, don't just ask the coaches, ask the defense, ask the alpha. And on the Browns, that's Myles Garrett. What's Myles been saying about Shedeur? He's praised his mindset, his energy, even his smile. He said he's always ready to work, and that he's the kind of guy you love to show up to work with. That might sound casual on the surface, but from Myles Garrett? That's serious. Garrett is one of the most respected voices in that locker room, and when he throws his support behind someone, everyone listens. He's seen rookies come in with the wrong vibe, too cocky, too quiet, too flashy. But Shedeur, he's balanced, he's mature, he's steady, and that's why guys are lining up behind him. What isn't about hype anymore, it's about connection. And connection in the NFL? That's what builds chemistry. And chemistry? That's what wins games. So look, Shedeur's promotion to first-team reps? This isn't just some feel-good preseason headline. And this is a legit statement to the rest of the league. A 5th-round pick wasn't supposed to be shaking up the QB room like this. He wasn't supposed to be outpacing Gabriel. He wasn't supposed to be the one the vets are backing. But here we are. The coaches are calling him special. The analysts are calling him the steal of the draft, and the locker room? Yeah, they're calling him the guy. That rise didn't happen overnight. It happened because he earned every bit of ITA in the field, in the meetings, in the locker room, and now, with Deshaun Watson shifting into more of a mentorship role, Kenny Pickett trying to reset his career, and Joe Flacco nearing retirement. It's hard to ignore the fact that Shedeur Sanders is looking more and more like the Browns' future. The only question is, will the Browns ride the wave and let him lead, or will they stick with experience over momentum? Either way, I think we can all agree Shedeur Sanders has arrived. And if he keeps stacking days like this, I wouldn't be shocked at all if he walks into Week 1 as the Browns' starting quarterback. Let me know what you think. Has Shedeur done enough to take over the job? Or is there still one more twist coming in this quarterback saga? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed. I'll catch you tomorrow with more Browns updates. Thanks for watching and see you next one.